You actually pregnant?
I can be sad with you. Just take my hand and fly out through the dreams where the skies are so clear.
Just took a pregnancy test. I feel like I can already see the
I
line.
wanna stay with you.
Hey guys, welcome back to Mama Dubay. I'm Shelby and I make videos all about motherhood. And first off, I just want to say if you are already a subscriber and you watch my videos, I apologize for the break. It was Easter weekend and I didn't get a video out at the beginning of the week this past week, and I planned on doing a whole weekly vlog, but today is Saturday. So hopefully I'll get this video out midweek this next week. But also, if you're new here, welcome to Mama Dubay. I am a stay-at-home mom with a 2-year-old, and I'm also 28, as of today, 28 weeks pregnant with a little girl. And this week has just been absolutely crazy. So I'll update you on everything that has been going on in today's video. But first, I need to clean up my kitchen and get some breakfast made for my little boy. It's almost 10 o'clock. We've had a very busy morning. So let's get breakfast made and then I will update you on everything else.
No,
It is. What's this one?
a queen.
Yeah. Cool, dude. It has been a week. I don't know if you just heard in his little voice. Lucas has been sick, but he's also been going through some other developmental stuff. And before I get into all of that, I wanted to update you on how my appointment went. I filmed a little clip of me going to my appointment and never followed up. So I'm not even going to include that clip because there's no point. It's just me telling you that I'm on my way to get my gestational diabetes test done and that I was 27 weeks. And at that appointment, I got my Tdap shot. It was in the arm. I don't know why my Tdap shot. And I had to do the gestational diabetes test. So I was at the office for an hour. This was one of the very few appointments that my doctor used the Doppler to listen to the heartbeat, and she found it immediately. One of the concerns I brought up during the appointment was that I still wasn't having consistent movement. The day before, we had traveled to this little town that I'm from, and to see the family for Easter and everything. And that whole day, I didn't really feel any movement until I got home. So it was like we left the house around 10. We were in the car for 2 hours. And yeah, no movement until later that night. And there was a lot going on that day. Lucas had a great time hunting Easter eggs and eating lots of sugar. That's kind of how the movement has been. It's been super sporadic, and I know I have the anterior placenta, So you're not supposed to start like counting kicks quite yet, but it's also, my doctor brought up the movement because I have told her this whole time that movement hasn't been very strong. Which, different baby. Lucas was measuring 2 weeks ahead at that point, and this baby is measuring on time, which I'm very excited about. I'm not gonna get my hopes too high about it, but maybe I'll have like an average size baby this time around. Not that it was horrible having a 10-pound baby, but I think it contributed to the back issues that I had. I'm getting off topic. So anyway, my doctor was telling me at this appointment that if the movement did not increase, that we could do an NST non-stress test. So, but she did not say that we could do it at that appointment. She suggested an ultrasound, which I actually denied because as soon as she used the Doppler, we actually felt kicks immediately when I laid down, and her heartbeat was super strong, and it was just obvious that she was good. So I told her that if I had any issues with movement between then and my next appointment, that I would obviously call and we would book that non-stress test or whatever we needed to do. So anyway, since then it's been almost a full week, but I've been feeling movement every single day. It's gotten stronger every day, which is good. So we're not worried about that anymore. So back to the gestational diabetes test. That was another thing I was slightly worried about. I did not have it with Lucas. I was slightly worried about the gestational diabetes because when I delivered Lucas, the doctor who did my delivery, who will be doing this one as well, said something along the lines of, maybe I had it and it was just undiagnosed. Mommy's gonna eat breakfast first and clean up the kitchen one more time. Okay?
Mama.
Do you want to go outside by yourself?
Yeah.
Okay. Let Mama finish eating and then you can go outside by yourself while I make some bread.
I need soup.
I was concerned about gestational diabetes a little bit. Not that I had it for sure with Lucas, but the doctor that delivered me said it might have been just undiagnosed. And since my belly got so big so fast with this baby, I was worried. So I passed. So that was all that happened for that appointment, and I have another appointment a week from Monday. So I'll be 29 weeks then. I don't know if I'm switched to every 2-week appointments at this point, but maybe. So I'm gonna eat my breakfast, and then I'm gonna start cleaning up and let him go outside by himself on the porch to play. And this little guy has been sick this week. So he's had, I think his lymph nodes are so swollen that he's having pain in his little neck. Hey guys, so it is actually a few days later, and I was editing the footage of me talking about everything that was going on with Lucas and everything last week, and I didn't really like how I explained everything. Watching it back, I feel like I was still kind of like in the thick of it and feeling stressed out by everything that had been going on. And in hindsight, it's normal toddler parenting stuff. So I kind of thought instead of just focusing on that, I would give you more of a clear 2-year-old update on Lucas. And one thing I mentioned in that clip previously is that I'm not going to like really go into too much detail on Lucas as far as behavior and things like that as he gets older. And that's just because I want to respect his privacy. I still think that he's young enough that I can talk about some things. So, and more in a general sense than in a specific sense. So the point in me doing this is to kind of give you some things that I've learned as a parent, parenting a 2-year-old. And maybe if you're going through some similar things, you can apply them to your parenting journey as well. So I am currently in little girl's room, and I have a little clip to share with you of a little update on this room. It is kind of a mess right now because we're still organizing and getting things put away. I'll show you all of that here in just a moment. But one of the first things I wanted to comment on is I had planned on having Lucas potty trained by the time this baby was born. I am 28 weeks pregnant and he is not potty trained. He's just not fully ready, in my opinion. So I think you have to look for certain signs. The biggest thing was that he wasn't willing to sit on the potty yet. That is a phase of potty training that we are starting. It's more just finding opportunities where he is willing to try to go potty. We try to find at least one specific time, and then I'll ask him throughout the day when it's convenient for me and for him if he wants to, and if he says yes, then we try. So really, I'm just easing him into the potty training thing. Now, Lucas is also becoming a lot more independent, but at the same time, he's kind of clinging a little bit more as well. So I have been trying to do some things like at the playground. I've been trying to give him a bit more freedom, let him kind of decide where he's gonna go, and just kind of watch from a bit more of a distance. And the point in this is so that when I have a newborn, I can go and deal with the newborn and watch him play and make sure he's safe a little bit more from a distance. So that is going really well. Typically he does want to swing. That's his favorite thing on the playground. So almost every time we get to the playground, that's the first thing he wants to do. And I'll put him on the swing and he'll swing for anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes before he wants to run around. But he's getting more and more capable of everything on the playground, and he's enjoying it a lot more, I think. However, I think at this stage in his development, he is becoming more and more aware of things that he is afraid of. So he went through a phase where he was afraid of bumblebees. And I just kept telling him that bumblebees aren't going to hurt you if you ignore them. They'll just fly away, not to worry. And there are some bees that will sting, and I don't know. I mean, at some point I do have to explain that to him, but I just want him to be more confident. He's kind of gotten to where he was pretty afraid of all bugs and things like that. So being outside, working in the garden, which is something that we've been doing a lot lately, I think is helping him. So what I talked about most in the clip that I'm not including in this video is that Lucas is going through a phase where he is really trying to assert his way. And again, this is totally normal behavior for a 2-year-old. Totally normal. It started out with him doing things like going to the park and sitting down. Like we're at the park and we're walking around or whatever, and we're not like close to the vehicles. We're on a trail walking around the park, and he just decides, I'm gonna sit here. And Lucas is a big boy. He wears like 4-year-old clothes. He's 35 or 36 pounds, and I'm now in my 3rd trimester. I'm pregnant. It's hard for me to carry him long distances, on top of the fact that I'm trying to kind of protect my back as much as I can, because I had some back issues with Lucas postpartum, and I really just want to be careful with that. So I'm not going to pick my 35-pound toddler up and carry him very long distances. I'll pick him up for a short amount of time and then encourage him to walk. So it started with that, and then this past week, Lucas realized that he can open his bedroom door. And he's been able to open doors, but he's never really just done it. Like he's done it to go inside after we get home or something like that. But he's never just like opened a door he's not supposed to, really. He started doing that, and my child, who has been such a great sleeper, who sleeps until almost 8 o'clock every morning and just lays there and calls for me or cries, or, you know, you can tell he's ready to get up. When he's ready to get up, normally he just stays in his bed. Well, he started getting out of his bed to come out of his room. And it started, I think, at a nap time, and then it turned into like 7:30. He just came running out of his room. That's acceptable, right? Well, then it was 7 o'clock that he came running out of his room. And then it was 6:30 in the morning when he came running out of his room. And during those times, I get up around 6:30 and I make my husband's lunch in the morning and send him off to work and just make sure he has everything he needs. And it's just a time that after he leaves, I get some quiet time. I'm an introvert, so I need that quiet time. And anyway, I kept looking at Robert as this was happening, my husband, like, oh great, this is fun, you know? And I kept thinking, and I mentioned it to him, to Robert, that this could happen in the middle of the night. Well, lo and behold, Lucas actually got sick. And the first night, I didn't know he was sick. But he came out of his room at 3 in the morning, and he felt warm. I didn't realize it was a fever till the next morning. But he came out at 3 in the morning, straight to our room. And our room is right next to the stairs, upstairs. So anyway, I jumped out of bed as fast as I could and went and got him and tried to get him to go back to bed. But he was obviously not feeling good. Again, I didn't know at this point that he was feverish. He was wearing warm pajamas. It's summertime, and I thought maybe I had just not dressed him well. So anyway, back to the testing thing. He really would not go back to bed for me. It turned into a bit of a power struggle, lots of crying, and I couldn't get him to stay in his room. Like the second I would turn around to leave, he would get up. So part of me, in the normal circumstances, what I would have done if I knew he was sick is honestly, I would have slept with him. That way I can keep track of his fever and make sure that, you know, it's not getting too high and just make sure he's okay. But now that I am as pregnant as I am and the bed is not as comfortable, my back hurts, and I'm trying to protect my back, I don't want to get into a habit of sleeping with him all the time when I know I'm going to have a newborn soon. All of these things were playing in my head. So we dealt with this throughout that entire night. And then around 6:30, I ended up bringing him into my bed because I wanted to try to get more sleep. Well, Lucas didn't want to sleep anymore. And so he, you know, the second I would try to doze off, he would like stick a hand in my mouth or something. And we don't have a TV in my bedroom. It was very unsuccessful. I did not get much sleep that morning. And as soon as I got up with him, I checked his temperature and realized he had a fever. Started treating the fever. We had another rough episode with nap time that day. And then the next night, Robert often does bedtime routine with Lucas. He does it a lot of the time, not every time, but it's kind of like their time together. So, and a lot of times I'm there for most of it, but the part where you actually like put him in the bed, we sing some songs and leave. So Robert's been doing that, and I was like, hey, I think in the long term we need to quit going to sleep with him, but since he's sick and he's had a really rough day and he's really tired, maybe you can stay and, you know, stay with him till he goes to sleep. So he did that, and then Lucas woke up multiple times while we were still up. A couple of times it was, you know, time for him to have more medicine and stuff like that to treat the fever. So he wakes up around 3 or something, and at this point I asked Robert if he could go in there and get him back to sleep. And I usually don't expect any help from Robert in the middle of the night because he has to work the next day, and I know that he needs his rest so that he can go do the physical job that he does. So anyway, Robert went in there. Lucas got right back in bed. So he actually did it twice. He got up around 3, he got up around 4, and then around 4:30, I had just looked at Robert and I was like, hey, I'll do it. You have to get up in just a couple of hours. I'll deal with it. Well, 4:30 turned into 2 hours of a huge meltdown of him saying, I want to go downstairs. I want to go to mama's bed, you know, and he just really like would not take go to sleep or stay in your bed as an answer from me. I know that toddlers test their moms or whoever is like their all the time caregiver more than their dads or the other caregivers in their life. And this is just proven that that is the case. So anyway, it was a really, really rough night. Again, I was already really tired from just like a few hours of sleep the night before. Also pregnant. You know, you're tired when you're pregnant. Those 2 nights were really, really hard. And my biggest issue was keeping myself calm. So, you know, I go in and I try to be calm and loving. And the more that he pushes, the more I get worked up. And then I get angry and I expect him to remain calm or to calm down. And that does not work well, guys. So my point in telling you those things is to remind you that you have to be able to remain calm when dealing with the toddler, especially if you're expecting calm behavior from them. One thing I ended up doing in the middle of the night, and I ended up locking his door so that he couldn't get out. We now have child door locks on the inside so he can't get out in the middle of the night. But I ended up locking his door, letting him stay in there. He was not okay. He was upset, but I was not okay either. And it's better for me not to be in the room when I feel that way than to be in the room and be super aggravated at him. He doesn't deserve that either. So I went and I took a shower in the middle of the night to calm myself down, and it helped a ton. By the time I got back in the room, I think he had worn himself out some, and I had a different frame of mind, and I was able to lovingly talk to him and tell him it's time to go to bed. So he ended up sleeping for maybe an hour after that and got up for the day. But to get him to sleep in his own bed, basically what we did is, and to not have these fits, was to acknowledge what he was saying. Like, I understand you don't want to stay in your bed. I get it. And then also just to be like, well, it's bedtime, so you need to stay in your bed. Just be very calm about it. Tell him that you love him. Let him be upset if he needs to be upset. Let him know that you're right outside the door, or you're right in your room sleeping. And just basically maintain consistency and stick to your guns, keep those boundaries and all of that. It's tempting when you're tired to just crawl in the bed with them and sleep. But again, I just was looking at newborn life and thinking there's no way I can have a newborn and a toddler in my bed and get rest. And that's important to me. So those are the things that have been going on with my son's development. Now in the morning, after he has done his good sleep through the night, we go in there. If my husband's home from work, he'll do this as well. But we just go in there and we're like, oh my gosh, you stayed in your bed all night. You're such a big boy. We're so proud of you. You know, just really encourage him that he is doing something great. So it works for him, and yeah, it's been so much better. And anytime that we deal with these fits, I do a lot better because I talk myself down. I bring myself back to calm before I respond to him. So my biggest takeaway to 2-year-old tantrums and all of that is to excuse yourself if you need to, even if your child is upset, so that you can calm down, so that you can come back and be the warm and loving parent that you probably want to be. I mean, every time that I've ever thought about becoming a mom, I always pictured myself as a warm, loving, caring mom. And that's who I want to be. So if I don't feel that way, if I feel explosive because I am being pushed, you know, I need to step away. My child will be okay in his room with the door shut and locked, you know, for a few minutes while I gather myself. That is the update on my 2-year-old. I hope it makes sense, and I hope that I explained it well. And let's go back to the original video where I filmed all of this, and I'll show you the rest of this room and what is going on in here. Okay, so here is the update on the baby's room that I promised you. We've got diapers for the baby. I'm gonna store them in the closet. I have finally let go of this table because it just it's just not gonna fit in this room. I love the table. I wish I had a place for it. It's 1000% my style, but we're gonna sell it. And this is one of the newest things that I've done in here is I put this paper on. And now one of my goals is to get all of these baby clothes that have been washed put in the dresser where I already have some baby clothes. And decide what I'm actually going to keep, because I have those, and then in this room I have even more. I have these that need to be put away and folded, and then I'm sure you can hear the washer running. In the washer are a bunch more other clothes. So, clothes. We've got plenty of clothes through 6 months. And these are all from hand-me-downs, which I am such a fan of hand-me-downs. But today my goal is to clear this off. I'm 28 weeks pregnant. I have about 11 weeks until my C-section, and my plan today is to get the stuff that's eventually going to go downstairs, and I'm going to put it in the pack and play that's down there. I went ahead and set it up just so I would have a place to put the things that are supposed to go down there. And then I'm going to get this stuff out of this room. This is baby clothes that I'm going to keep in case we have a third baby. And then this box is baby clothes that I'm donating to a friend. I need to also wash these clothes and put them in the storage bins that are under the bed. And yeah, I'm just gonna make some sense of this room. I need to go through this box of donations that were given to me. Yeah, that's the plan. And hopefully this weekend, while my husband is also off, we picked up two little bookshelves that need to be sanded and painted, that are either going to go in the closet or somewhere in this room. And then I have to figure out wall decor, where I'm going to put all of that. And I'm doing all of this now because my shower is a week away, and I know I'm going to have a lot more to go through. So I just want to get all of this under control while I can. If you enjoyed today's video, please like it. And if you would like to subscribe to my channel, I would love to have you as part of my community. And I'll see you guys in the next video.